The next section we're going to be moving on to is taking out a common bracket, which is still a common factor. We are going to be dealing with slides 16 to 20. So example 1, it says factorize p x plus 1 minus 2q x plus 1. Okay, grade 9s. As you can see, we have two terms separated by the minus. They still have a common factor. As you can see, this entire bracket here, x plus y is common with both terms. So we can take out that common factor, just like what we did with the previous examples, taking out the common factor. Open up your bracket, and what am I left with? Well, I've taken out that entire bracket of x plus y with this term here. So if I cover that up, what am I left with? Just a p. Bring down your sign. Again, with this term over here, if I cover that up, I'm left with just a 2q. And we have factorized. If we look at example 2, they're asking us to factorize 8b x plus 6 minus 3 x plus 6. Again, we have two terms. We have this term over here and that term over there, separated by the minus. With these two terms, we have this x plus 6 bracket that is common. I can take that out, open up my bracket, and I'll ask myself, what am I left with? Well, I've taken out that x plus 6 over there, so we're just left with an 8b. Bring down the sign. For this term over here, I've taken out the x plus 6, and I'm just left with the 3. And we have factorized. Now, we are now going to move on to examples where we have to make the brackets the same. So if we look at this example here, as you can see, it looks very similar to the previous two examples. The only difference is we have an x minus y here and a y minus x. They are not the same as they stand like that, but I can make them the same. If I do leave the first one and I make this x minus y, what I've done now is I've made this second bracket look like the first by swapping them around like that. But as soon as I do that and I flip them around, I need to change the sign over here. So this was a negative, this now becomes a positive. So just keep that in mind. If you are flipping these two, your sign will change. Now we have it in a form where we have the same thing, x minus y in the bracket. So I can take that out as a common factor. Open up my bracket, and what am I left with? If I just look at the first term, I've taken out that x minus y, and I'm left with an m. Bring down your sign. With the second term over here, I've got an x minus y that I've taken out, and I'm left with an n. And we have factorized. Looking at the next example, as you can see, they look very similar. We have a 3c minus d minus 3c. So they look very similar, but what we can do is we can just manipulate the second one like we did here to make them look exactly the same. So I'm going to leave the first one. And I'm going to flip this one over here. What we've done now is we've made them look exactly the same. 3c minus d, 3c minus d. But you remember with this previous one, as soon as we flip that, we need to change the sign. So if it was a positive, it now becomes a negative. Just remember, if you're flipping, change the sign. Now we have a common factor. 3c minus d, 3c minus d. Take it out. Open up your bracket. If we just focus on this first term, we've taken out that 3c minus d, and we're left with a 2x. Bring down your sign. Looking at this second term here, we've taken out the 3c minus d, and we are left with a 5. We have factorized. Looking at example 5, okay, in this first term we have a 2x minus 1. Over here we have a 1 minus 2x. They look similar, so what we can do is just flip that one and make it look like this one. So now that I've flipped this one to make it look like this one, remember that this sign must change as soon as I do that flip, just like these previous two over here. So we have two terms here. There's our first term, separated by the plus. There's our second term. I'm now going to take it out as a common factor. Open up our bracket. So with this first term, I've taken out this 2x minus 1, and I'm left with an x squared. Bring down my sign. Now this one is a little bit different because we don't have a number in the front like what we did here, or a letter, and with this one and this one. So we've got to ask ourselves, this 2x minus 1 bracket multiplied by something must give us 2x minus 1 back. The only thing that it can be is 1. 2x minus 1 times 1 will give us 2x minus 1. Grade 10s, 9s, I would like you to do exercise 18.3, number 25 and 26, and then you can go on to exercise 18.14, numbers 1 to 8. Thank you.